Alright guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video I will be going over basically around 21 or I guess you can say most of the challenges here in the Automobili, Lamborghini for that matter. I actually really did love this playlist, like it was a lot of fun, but with that is going to be a lot of challenges you can actually do. So there is going to be around obviously 25 challenges to complete in this, and at the current moment I have 22 or I think it's like 21 here that I have not turned in at the moment. So if you guys were wondering, by the way, I do indeed have a few down here I have not done, which is the Bull Uprising, a crew of 2 with a Lamborghini Diablo. I have not been in a crew yet, so it's kind of hard to do that challenge. Then we also have the Reach Top 5 at a Grand Race, and I haven't even done a Grand Race yet because I have been doing so many different challenges. But the other one is going to be the Automobili Lamborghini Container to a Poor Story 911 Legacy Container in less than 2 minutes, which I will get into that one later on in the video. But we also have all the Countach Wheel collectibles, so I would say many of the challenges, especially the collectibles guys, really aren't that bad either. I really do feel like many players are most likely going to get these done early on, and most likely will get them done when driving. But jumping back over to the top of the list here, guys, starting off with the first one, A.L Night Menace. Drive 6.2 miles in Honolulu in free drive by night. So for this, guys, you will indeed have to go over to Honolulu only at nighttime to get this done. I also do not know why in some ways they did name this by night, because it doesn't say like you actually have to do it at night. It basically says, oh, get this done before night or by night. So I guess either way would basically confuse that. But for this, guys, you will have to do this at and or during nighttime to get this one done. And I did notice it can be done pretty easily. Just make sure you guys are in the city of Honolulu. And of course, you will obviously have to be using the Diablo GT, but overall, I would say this challenge is going to be pretty simple. But moving over to the next one, guys, A.L Speedster. Complete 5 speed trap feet 62.1 miles an hour above the objective, and of course you will also have to do this one in the Diablo GT, so I would recommend guys having your vehicle slightly leveled for this, and of course doing a speed trap 62 miles above the objective, you most likely have to have it leveled, but for this, guys, I would probably say it's going to be pretty easy. Now, do keep in mind every single speed trap is different, so some of them might be lower when, like, for example, having like 100 miles an hour, or some on the highways are like 150, so do be careful on the one you actually have to pick. Like, if you have to do 180 in this Lambo, you're most likely not going to get that done. So I do believe I actually did the one there in Honolulu, and of course if you do get a head start, you can normally get it done pretty quick, but do keep in mind if there's any AI along the way, you're most likely going to ruin that run. But do not worry, guys. All 5 do not have to be completed at night or anything. So you can do a few, go do a few other challenges, then come back in there. And if you wanted to, by the way, you guys can also drive around at Honolulu at night and then also head over and do the speed trap at the same time. So at least you can get a few challenges done pretty quick, which, by the way, I was basically doing that with many of these challenges. I do believe I did 20 of these in I think it was like around 2 hours, so you can get a lot of them done. But moving over to the next challenge, guys, A.L Speed Run. So drive 6.2 miles above 202 miles per hour in free drive. So of course this will also have to be done in the Diablo GT from this actual playlist. Now, I would also recommend, guys, this car basically has to almost be maxed out in order to do this, because I did notice most of the top speeds on the street cars is like 230, so you basically have to have this car like near max to be able to do this. But having your Lamborghini maxed out is most likely going to make this one at least a bit easier if it wasn't, so I would recommend doing that, guys, at least to get this challenge done. And one of the easiest highways I did find is by far going to be the one by Honolulu, which is going to be the gameplay you guys do indeed see in the background, so I would recommend heading over to that highway. I do think it's like the best one. But moving over to the next one, guys, A.L Mean and Sharp. So get a perfect clean driving score in the event defining perfection and win the race. So I have been noticing a lot of people asking questions about these challenges. So in the Automobili Lamborghini, I really don't know why I said it like that, but in this one though, guys, there is indeed going to be a few of these you will have to do. So for this, I believe there's like 4 of them in this said playlist, and it is definitely not going to be the last time you guys see the clean driving ones basically in any other playlist. But for this one, guys, there is indeed going to be 4 of these with the said Lamborghini Diablo GT. So for the first one here, I want you to basically get a clean driving score. which by the way, that is going to be like the multiplier thing you can add to the race. So I would recommend putting that on anyway, though. That way you actually know you don't hit anything, or you actually know you are getting a legit clean driving score. But big tip on this though, guys, I would definitely recommend doing this for all of these for that matter, which is going to be to put the actual like difficulty of the race. Make sure you are putting that on level 1 because it really does make it that much easier. And I really do feel like one of the biggest issues with these events is most likely the AI. They, for some odd reason, do not care about anything. Like, they will basically drive right into you and not care about anything. So I would be kind of careful with them. But that's basically going to be the biggest thing with them. Also, do keep in mind, guys, the A.L Clean Fight is going to be based in the Rule the Streets, aka like the Donut Media playlist. So if you haven't done that playlist yet, you will have to do that one in order to use the Lamborghini. So do keep that in mind, guys, when you actually want to do some of these challenges. But for the next one, though, it's also going to be insanely similar. So get a clean, perfect driving score in the Trailblazing Forever. So this is going to be another event. So basically the biggest thing here I can probably say is to watch out for the AI. And once again, guys, make sure you put that difficulty on level 1. I really do feel like it actually makes like the races legit night and day better. This can also be like the same thing for the A.L Clean Driving Specialist, and I really do think this race has a lot of stuff you can't hit, like cones or like those big red things that are in the road, which I still don't know what those are, but if you do hit one, it will obviously take some of your time and or like your scoring away. So if you hit anything, guys, I actually hit a cone in one of my runs. I lost $1 from it, and that still is going to count. So that is indeed going to count, unfortunately, even if you guys barely touch anything. Now, I do want to mention, by the way, one thing I also noticed about these challenges. So let's say you accidentally like bump into something, or like maybe one of the AI hit you, and you don't actually lose any of your clean driving score. Do keep in mind, I have noticed on certain runs you can have a perfect driving score and still not get this done. So it's almost like you did hit something, but for some odd reason that did not show up in the actual scoring. So definitely keep that in mind, guys, when you are doing these. But moving over to the next one, the A.L Japanese style. Finish the event. I am not going to try to pronounce that style. Made in Japan playlist in less than 4 minutes and or 30 seconds. So this is going to be one of those challenges, guys, that once again having a maxed out car is most likely going to be one of the best ways to do it. And you could probably do this with like a lower level Lamborghini, but to be honest, I would recommend hitting that car up a bit with its level. And I don't know why I said it like that, like you're hitting up one of your homies, but hey, that I guess in some ways is going to be the same thing. So once your vehicle is leveled up a bit, I would then jump in and or try to do this challenge. So I don't think it's going to be an insanely bad one, and luckily it's not a long race, and I would say the AI there are going to have a great time with you, and I really do feel like that's probably like a perk of some of these challenges. But moving over to the next one, guys, A.L Omnis Speed. Finish the event Chasing the Future in less than 3 minutes. So finishing Chasing the Future in less than 3 minutes is indeed basically going to be the exact same thing as the Japanese style playlist challenge before. That one is also going to require you to basically beat that race before the 3 minutes, and or at least I guess before the 3 minutes actually happens. So 2 minutes and or 59 seconds would indeed get you there. But the biggest thing here, guys, once again, is to have your vehicle maxed out and or at least higher leveled. That way you have a better chance of getting this. And if I do remember correctly, I think I beat this in like 2 minutes and 40 something seconds. So it really wasn't that bad. Of course, watch out for the AI. And if you do want an easier challenge with it, and or I guess like making the challenge less easy, you can have this maxed out to level 5 difficulty, which definitely does help that said challenge. But nonetheless, though, guys, moving over to the next challenge, A.L Virtuoso. I think I said that right, but complete 5 slalom feats without collision. So we are basically past using the Lamborghini Diablo, by the way, guys. So now we can actually use the Lamborghini Miura. I most likely didn't say that right either, but for this car though, guys, it is going to be pretty dang good. It's also a street tier 2, so if it is maxed out, it would definitely make this to be a tad easier. And do keep in mind, guys, depending on the slalom you do indeed pick, is most likely going to make this easier than some of the others. And some obviously have lots of AI and or like a lot of things you can't hit, like poles, or like you can't even hit like a bicycle and or like a weird like trash can or something, guys. And also, if you hit like the big yellow thing holding up the objective, you also fail if you hit that. So I would definitely be slightly careful how you do these and make sure you hit nothing. If you hit the slightest thing, like I ran into a bench, yes, a bench, and it still failed. So I would recommend watching out for all of those. Make sure you pick an easier one with like less traffic or like less things to hit for that matter. But Funnily enough, guys, the next challenge, Close Call, can actually be done while doing the 5 slaloms. And for this, you actually have to get the near misses in free drive. So if you are just driving around, make sure you are getting closer to the cars that are on the map, which in some areas are almost going to be non-existent. So you will most likely have to keep an eye out for them. But if you guys did want to, you can also get this one done in the slalom challenge. And that would probably be one of the best ways to get multiple challenges done for that matter, which is going to bring us to the next one, A.L Gold Digger. Do not worry, guys, it's not going to have to do with the song, though. Open 5 treasure boxes, and I would actually say this challenge is going to be insanely simple for that matter. So the biggest thing here is to obviously find the treasure boxes, aka the live reward crates, spawning around the map randomly. So there's a few different ways you guys can do this. So number one, you could go after like the collectibles and or drive around and wait till you actually find one. Or you can actually have the Lamborghini as your favorite ground vehicle and then actually fly around in like a plane and or find them that way. So overall, though, guys, you will definitely be messing with no Gold Digger to get this done, and at least you will get 48,000 XP and or $36,000 from it. Plus, you also get money from the actual crates, so it's kind of like a win-win. But moving over to the next challenge, A.L Caretaker finished the event creating a legend without collisions. So for this one, guys, it is going to be insanely similar to like doing an event with like a perfect driving record. For this, you basically have to do that said event without hitting anything, which I would say isn't going to be too insanely difficult. Luckily, the mirror is pretty good, and I would probably say a lot of these challenges are most likely going to be pretty simple, but in many of them, guys, the biggest thing I can say is to watch out for the AI. They really have no idea what's going on, but A.L old but gold, so get a perfect clean driving score in the event defining perfection, and this is actually going to be insanely similar to the Caretaker, but for this, guys, you have to have a perfect driving score in this event, and I would probably say having that event at level 1 is most likely going to be the best way to do it. That way you can pass the cars at like a safe place. I also have to mention, by the way, guys, you don't have to win this event, and I did notice that's actually a trend with many of these. Like, you don't have to win. If you did want to, many of them actually just want you to finish the said event, and that way you can also get this challenge done. So, if you don't feel like dealing with the AI and basically just driving, that could also be one of the ways to actually get this done. But and I do want to mention, by the way, guys, you don't technically have to win some of these events either. Like, let's say you do want to get some of these challenges done, but the AI are really frustrating you. One of the things you can actually do is to basically stay in last place, and or at least finish that said event to actually get the challenge done. So that can be one way to do it if you are slightly frustrated. But moving over to the next one, though, perform 50 overtake without collision in any event. So for this, guys, you actually have to buy the Cyan, Tomato Tomato, Lamborghini Roadster if you do not have it. I do believe this car is like $2.3 million, and of course I did buy the vehicle because I am indeed challenge hunting, which that really does sound kind of cringy, doesn't it? Like, what am I actually saying? Wow. But regardless though, guys, for this one, you can use any of these events as your choice to get this done, but do keep in mind though, guys, I would recommend doing some of the easier ones. So for me, I actually decided to do one of the Made in Japan races, and I would probably say that's like one of the easiest ones. So what you can do is put this on event level 1, and then basically pass all of the AI, and then of course let them go past you and or go and pass them again. And do keep in mind, by the way, guys, I would recommend doing this with like a highly leveled and or a more of a leveled hypercar, which would make this easier. That way, when you actually jump into this event, you will be able to let the AI pass you, and then of course go and pass them again. And I do believe it took me like 5 and or 6 retries to do it, so it really isn't going to be insanely hard for this challenge. But moving over to the next one, guys, AL Runway or AL Runaway. I really am messing words up today, aren't I? Complete 5 escape feats with a 1640-yard margin. So if you are wondering what this means, you will basically have to beat that set escape by 1640 yards. So for example, guys, if you are doing one of these challenges and it might be like 2,000 yards for like the actual objective, you will have to get like 3640 yards in order to beat it. So do keep that in mind. I would also recommend doing some of the easier ones for that matter. And by the way, the other challenge you can also do with this is going to be called the A.L Professional. Reach a speed of 249 miles per hour in free drive, and You can also cut some of the time a lot lower when doing these challenges. So for example, guys, you can also do the 249 miles an hour during the 5 escape challenges for this, and or like the speed trap challenges for some of the others. So at least you can do a few challenges at once to at least get these done a lot faster. But moving over to the next one, guys, A.L Gambler, win the event Act 3 Grand Touring in less than 7 minutes and or 15 seconds. So this is going to be similar to some of the other challenges in the game, where it would definitely help if your vehicle is going to be leveled a bit to actually get this done. And even though, guys, I have a maxed out racing car and I think I got this done in like 6 minutes and or 50 seconds, and I would probably say if your vehicle is not maxed out and or a bit lower, and it will most likely make that event slightly more difficult, because that way, guys, your car is obviously not maxed out, and the AI in this game are obviously going to be on some crazy stuff. Like, I don't understand them, and I do feel like on level 5, even with a maxed out vehicle, they do not care, and I would say getting 7 minutes and or 15 seconds on one of these events is still going to be a slight challenge. Now moving over to the next challenge, AL Pro Skills perform 10 overtake in the event owning the racetrack. So for this, guys, I do feel like first things first, it should say 10 overtakes, but if you are wondering, it is going to basically be the exact same challenge like it was with the Cyan and or Cyan, tomato tomato once again. But for this, guys, I would actually recommend passing the cars on the left side instead of the right. For some odd reason, it wasn't working every single time. But now moving over to the next challenge is going to be the AL Custom. Equip one livery on a Lamborghini. So this challenge is going to be very straightforward, guys. All you will then have to do is head over to any Lamborghini in the game. I actually chose the Lamborghini Huracan in the Street Tier 2. Once you add the livery to the vehicle, will instantly get this challenge completed. I would probably say a lot of players might even get this one done without even realizing it's a challenge. The next summit challenge, though, is going to be the AL Addict Play 10 Summit Contest activities. So for this one, guys, all you will have to do is to basically jump into the summit. Now, you can do some of the events if you would like to, but do keep in mind, unless it's like a no restriction, you will not be able to do like the actual like racing type of events. So for this, I would recommend jumping into like the 3 skills. For me, I actually did like one of these small like escapes that was like 700 yards or so, and I would feel like that would probably be like the fastest way to do this. But again, guys, you really can only do the skills because normally the events are locked to different vehicles. Now for the next 2 challenges, guys, I indeed do not have either one of these done, but I figured I would actually go over both of them just here quick. So for this one, drive 15 minutes in a crew of at least 2 Lamborghini Diablo GTs, and for this, all you basically have to do is be in a crew of at least one other person, and both of you have to drive this car together in free drive for 15 minutes. So it is going to be a pretty simple challenge, but if you are looking to max out this playlist and its challenges, you will have to do this one for that matter. But moving over to the next one here fast, guys, reach the top 5 of a grand race with any Lamborghini. So for this, you can basically do any of the events in one of these grand races. As long as you're in a Lamborghini and or you get top 5, you will also get this one completed. And now, guys, the last challenge I will be going over in this video before I basically turn in every single award and or grab all of like the items up top there in like the timeline. But for this, guys, AL Rivals, drive from the Automobili Lamborghini container to the A Porsche Story 911 Legacy container in less than 2 minutes. So I feel like a lot of these challenges have a lot of confusion, but for this, guys, going into the map here, I'm most likely not going to be in the right place. But the main one, guys, is going to be right here at the Lamborghini Automobili like main spawn point here. So I'll spawn to this one to show you guys this. Do not mind the Porsche I'm currently in, but besides that though, guys, all you will have to do is spawn here, and the Porsche 911 Story container is going to be over here at Fort Island.